And my next guest in the studio is Fiona Edwards, CEO of Frimley ICB. Now, Fiona is the Chief Executive for Frimley Health and Care and has been the Executive Lead for Frimley Health for over 4 years now. Fiona has also been a Chief Executive in the NHS for over 22 years. Fiona, welcome to the studio.
Hello.
And I say, welcome to the show as well.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about the role you're in currently.
Right, so I lead NHS Frimley in partnership with a number of NHS organisations, and we serve a population of just under 1 million people across and in partnership with 5 first-tier or local authorities. So complexity is the name of the game that we work within, but we're driven by our absolute imperative to address health inequalities for our populations and provide great and better access and improving access to health and care services.
Fantastic, and I know you are going to be doing a session out here this afternoon very shortly, which is Models of Delegated Commissioning. Yep. Tell me what that means.
Yeah, so Frimley is the host integrated care board for the southeast of England on moving specialised delegated commissioning services into the region, and to be led really from a population health focus by integrated care boards. The plan is by April 2025 all integrated care boards will have delegated responsibility, which means that they will be driving the commissioning and planning of services, some of the most specialised services, through a real and deep understanding of their local health population needs. And we will be having to set vehicles as to where we need to work together on that, where we need to work across region and also nationally on that. And so it's a sort of mixed economy approach, quite complicated because specialised commissioning has been held quite far away in a specialist niche nationally, and it's all about bringing it out into the open and shining a light on it.
And are there a lot of challenges you're facing currently, or have you got a real sort of plan and roadmap of where it's going to go?
So we've nationally we've already delegated some of this to 3 regions in the country. So we are learning as we're going with that delegation, and there are different approaches and different models in each place, depending on both the nature and need in population and the configuration of services. The biggest challenge is to move it into a population and local strategy-led approach, and to reorganise how all the support services for that commissioning function in a way that really connects with local integrated care systems. Those are the kind of challenges.
So is that what the sort of end goal outcome is? You really want to give those local communities the power to make those decisions to cater for their audience and the local demographics?
Yes, because what we know now is that if you do not have a specialist service or what's called a tertiary centre in your local system, you will have lower access to those services. So each system that has a tertiary centre has a higher access rate for their local populations into those services, and we need to get the balance and more equity in that access, so that will be the benefit to the populations as we make this shift.
Brilliant. And in terms of the session you'll be running, what are the sort of key take-homes that you really want people to take away from, if they do attend that session?
Well, I think really that we test and work together as a one team across nationally, regionally, locally, and with our provider partners and the private sector as well, that we build a common vision for what we're all trying to do, and that we build some form of understanding and trust in that joint endeavour, and that we have the confidence to try things and learn as we go, but also meet the timescale and do it as safely as we can. That's what we're trying to pull off. And everyone needs to go away with that confidence that this can and will happen.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
So if that session is for you, that'll be coming up very shortly this afternoon, won't it, as well?
Thank you.
So I'd say look forward to hearing more in that session. But in terms of you yourself, and I do like to learn a little bit about our guests. You've been in 22 years in the
More than
executive
now.
role,
Yeah,
more
yeah.
than that, even more.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about how you got into healthcare and what was your sort of inspiration, motivation to get into this industry.
So my first early career was in the private sector. I am a human resources professional by background originally, and I worked in manufacturing. And I had a very accelerated career. I was working in as a board director very early on, leading in HR, leading in the total quality management space, as it was then called. And I looked really for a professional move from a professional drive to what I wanted to be was where the people were the product, not machinery being the product.
Yeah.
And so I was really attracted to the NHS from that point of view. I plan to stay here for 5 years, and as you can see, 30 years on, I've stayed. And what I've found is the joy is the common endeavour and desire to make a difference for our communities that you have amongst anybody that works not only in health and social care, but also across public service. That driving motivation is a huge motivator for me. And then you've got a highly educated, intelligent workforce and that are really committed to innovate and transform. But sometimes we get stuck in the complexity. Now that's a huge leadership challenge. You don't have that of any order, I think, in the private sector on the same scale. And it's kept me here going and still feeling energised. And I just love the people I work with.
So it's lovely to see that you still got that energy, you still got that passion, you still got that desire to move forward. I know you touched on leadership there, and we have had a few sessions yesterday on sort of leadership, change management. Have you managed to attend any sessions since you've been here?
Yeah, I've been here all the time, and I've been to a number of sessions, including a couple of the keynotes. I was particularly heartened by Victor's opening address and the focus on all of our common endeavours as public service leaders. And the challenge for us and the opportunity is to create inclusive leadership environments where we manage ourselves in the best way possible to enable our teams to operate in the best way possible. And also where we really understand what creating an inclusive culture and environment means for individuals working with us, but also the benefits for patients and public. If everyone, no matter what background, what protected characteristic you might have, feels a full member of a team, they can give of their best, and then that generates giving the best for our communities. So I love the fact that we set that tone at the beginning of the conference. And then what I've really enjoyed is the different environments and focus around digital and data enabling, working with partners in other industries, again for that common endeavour of transforming and bringing our services into the 21st century, and a real focus on population health and health inequalities. I've attended some fabulous talks. I've just been at one on intergenerational approaches to health and well-being, which really is about fundamentally a people-based approach rather than a service delivery based approach or a historic based approach. And so I found a very energizing, hopeful environment, and also it's given me some conversations and opportunities to generate new ideas and new connections for moving things forward.
I love the overall vibe of this conference, because so many people have said that it's just that one goal that we're all striving towards it, and it is such a nice environment. Have you had much chance to do a lot of networking here as well while you've been here? Yeah,
I mean that's the side effect, but also the core effect of a conference like this, that it creates definitely a focus on learning and sharing best practice, and then people feel able to come and talk to you, and I can talk to people I may not have seen for a while and new people about what you've heard, what you want to learn, what you might be able to offer. And I've found that exchange environment a real plus.
Fiona, it's been an absolute delight. Thank you very much
Okay.
for coming in and sharing your experience, and hope you have a really good session.
Thank you very much. Okay.
That was Fiona Edwards. Thank you very much for talking to us, and we'll be back. Stay tuned. More content coming your way very soon.